Right, all right. Hey, hey. Welcome back, guys. All right, so Taurus, let's get into a retrograde message. So we start retrograde tomorrow, the 26th of February. And this, of course, is where, Mercury moves faster than Earth does on their orbit. So they lap us. So I always think of it like this, something that comes back around and we're a little older and wiser when things come back around. Now, I'm looking at this from the perspective of love. Sometimes I keep it much more general, but this time, what is coming back around? But bearing in mind, it could look different this time because some time has passed. So we have got a Queen of Wands in the reverse, a Four of Pentacles upright, and a Knight of Wands. I have to say, Taurus might be having like a moment of awareness. If they had been caring about someone and they're saying, but you know what, that's someone who I care about and who admittedly, has been attracted to me. I'm starting to think they're just stuck on a karmic and they're kind of in between still being trapped by a karmic and trying to enjoy my company. But all that's doing is giving them the opportunity to remain stuck on a karmic. So Taurus could be having like, look, we can care for somebody and 3 or 4 months pass and then we start to see a pattern and we start to see something and it reveals itself to us and we see something in a way that we didn't see it before. That is what this looks like. Taurus knows that whomever this person is thinks they're hot. Definitely this is somebody who Taurus is one very spicy snack, okay? Taurus has gorgeous hair. Taurus has a certain panache. Taurus may be a bit of a badass too. Taurus could have a certain I don't know, just like a sexy, powerful vibe to them. And Taurus knows that, but it's not lost on Taurus that this person who is drawn to them for valid reasons, admittedly, right? Attractive people are going to attract individuals to them. That's not Taurus's fault. And sometimes the people that are going to be attracted are going to like Taurus for all the right reasons and for some of the wrong reasons, meaning like maybe it's mostly like, God, I love the way you make me feel, but they don't have a lot to offer. And after, a pattern gets more visible, that's when we go, you know what? I get it. They want a piece of this good, this yum, yum, but what are they offering me? And then it looks like Taurus is saying, honestly, I want somebody who can offer me everything. I want the kind of loyal relationship where they're not just coming toward me because, I'm this attractive thing that they, makes their life more exciting and better, but they're still tangled up either emotionally or mentally or maybe truly still dealing with a karmic. I don't want that. I want to be free of this. So it's up to me to leave because as long as they can keep coming through my doorway, they probably will. The same way anybody keeps coming back. Why do we go to a restaurant again and again? Because the food is delicious. The service is great. The ambiance is amazing. Taurus is all of that. Of course, they're going to keep coming. So who's going to put a stop to it? Well, if the restaurant says, no, sorry, you're banned, you can't come here anymore, that's the only thing that's going to stop somebody from coming back to a restaurant again and again that they love. And I think this is Taurus saying, yeah, I mean, maybe it's not as extreme as I have to ban them, but this is Taurus taking a leap in a new direction. Now, I'm wondering if this thought process has, kind of been at the edges of Taurus's mind for a while. Probably 3 of Pentacles. Taurus might have thought for a period of time, I think I need to put this person into a different category. They need to go into the friendship category, maybe the murky friendship category, but they have to play a role in my life where I only see them when there's other people around, because I don't want it to become this opportunity for them to have this more intimate connection to me where it feels like they get to flirt with me. I think I'm going to change our dynamics. I've been thinking about it for a while. And as I do that, heck, I might also be thinking, there's somebody else I would like to try dating, somebody who maybe is more available, has more to offer me. This is not Taurus being rude or selfish in any way. This is Taurus saying, I expect to have, someone who isn't still tangled up, because you're bringing complications into my world. And why would I have to deal with that? And why do you get to, come toward all this yumminess that I have when you're not really bringing much to the table? The same way, if you repeatedly host a potluck and this person comes to all of them, but they never bring anything. It's like you're not playing by the rules of the potluck. You have to bring something to the table. Otherwise, you're not going to keep getting invited to the potluck. Okay, let's see, how is this retrograde impacting them? Is it kind of an interesting one because sometimes we think if we're going to do a retrograde love story, it's like we're going to expect, oh, who's coming back? But in this case, it's more like what ideas, what is, possibly changed and what looks different now about a romantic connection. And obviously for Taurus is kind of soured on this a bit and is saying, look, I know that there's other people out there for me to interact with, and I'm ready to take a leap towards somebody else. So for them, though, we have a Nine of Pentacles sideways. They, as far as like this retrograde and how it's impacting them, they may be saying to themselves, God, I gotta get myself out of this situation with this karmic. I gotta be single, and I'm only halfway there. I gotta, either finish working on what I need to. I don't know if they're saving up money. That Eight of Pentacles could be, that's their major issue. Maybe they haven't moved out of a house that they live in with a karmic because they're still trying to make the money to do it. They haven't yet taken that step, and they're like, I needed to be gone like 3 months ago. I should have already been done with this. I should have been able to step into the great unknown. Kind of feel like this has been I don't know if Taurus really dealt with this person exactly, other than maybe they flirted with Taurus. They gave the signals like, I like you, Taurus. I'd love to pursue you, Taurus. And maybe for a little bit that was like exciting. And Taurus was like, okay, any day now they're going to totally be single. It's going to become out in the open. They're going to ask me out. We're going to date. It's going to be something. And instead they're perpetually, and it's catching up to them too, because what they're recognizing as, this time has passed, and the awareness has come back to them that I really should have already been single. I mean, I'm not ready yet. I still might be cohabitating with a karmic. I still might be, not have enough money. Maybe I haven't been saving enough. And I'm right back to saying, I should step out and do something different. Maybe they are wobbly. Maybe they're worried that they won't be able to make financial ends meet if they were to move out. Whatever this is, they are aware that they should have already probably been single, with the Nine of Pentacles being sideways, and yet they still don't seem to be quite ready for this. How is it retrograde impacting the way you look at Taurus? High Priestess. They can feel Taurus's thoughts like crazy. They know it's like there may as well be a gigantic clock sitting right here doing like this ominous tick, 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 because I feel their ability to read Taurus's mind right now is like crazy off the charts. They know exactly what Taurus is thinking. Taurus is thinking, I believe I'm done getting kind of breadcrumbs from them. And they know this. They know this. Ace of Swords, Nine of Wands. They know Taurus is about to break it off with them. And, with the Nine of Wands, they know it's going to hurt. They may want to, and even be mentally preparing to kind of like try to say, but Taurus, I'm almost done with this other thing in my life. Maybe they should have been, come clean with Taurus and said, look, it's going to take me several months before I'm fully independent and can try to date you properly. But I think instead they just were like enjoying the interaction with Taurus. Again, I mean, you can't blame them for like enjoying all that Taurus is. But again, it doesn't mean that they have a right to take without giving in return. So I can see both sides of it. Let me ask, how is this going to play out? How is this going to play out? Because it seems like Taurus is, coming to this conclusion, but just because we come to a conclusion doesn't mean we instantly take action and pull the plug on things. Six of Wands and the Fool, but Taurus has the Fool twice. And the Fool is this leap in a new direction. I could see this, look, if they head this off and have the wherewithal to say, I need to sit down and talk to Taurus and say, I know a bunch of time has passed. I need to come clean with you, Taurus. I'm sure you're probably fed up because I haven't really made a move. I am working on wrapping stuff up in my life. If you would, give me a little bit more time. If they were to head this off before Taurus says, hey, I'm going to bounce, it is possible. You notice how we have two dragons going through the portal? and we have this like awesome energy here. It is possible that because they can feel the pressure of Taurus's thoughts and Taurus, kind of like making this decision around retrograde, that I think I'm done thinking about this person. I might be done interacting with them very much, because they can feel that energy. This card indicates that they may get in front of this thing by telling Taurus with that Nine of Wands and, racing forward the way we see here. They could race forward and say, I should have brought this up before. I'm sorry that I didn't. Here's where I'm at. I'm very close to wrapping something up. Then you could see a different side of me. And that could feel amazing to Taurus and to them, to like clear the air, because this has been brewing for a while. Okay. This is the conversation that has needed to be had for a while. And we are coming to a head, which that's great, because Mercury is the planet of communication. We have a Five of Swords. Ugh. On the other side of things, they may need to talk about what's the real deal between, the karmic and them. They may need to clear the air with Taurus. Like it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a fight with a karmic or something like that. They're going to dredge up all kinds of stuff. They're going to say, I owe them more money. Even if it's, they're going to want, if I dated a karmic, they'll say, I tallied up all the dinners I think we probably went out for. And this is how much you owe me for the retrospective, it could be something like wild like that. They may just be wanting to explain, it is going to get bumpy on my end especially as I formally, exit this. Let me just ask, is this really, character, what are you really intending on doing? Can we see King of Swords, a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius? Actually does feel like they are willing to finally take the final steps. It's this or they lose Taurus, and they can feel that. They lose the opportunity, because I don't even know if this person was with Taurus or was dating Taurus or was, starting to attempt to, just like build a flirtatious bond. And then it got to the point where it's like, if you don't ask me out right about now, I think it's because you're just messing about. If they are not just messing about and they can feel they need to come clean with, here's the reality of my situation. It's going to get messy as I really, I've been working toward, saving up money to move out, but also paying back, whatever I might have owed my ex or whatever like that. It doesn't all have to be about money. And it doesn't mean that a karmic is some bad person, or that wanting to be reimbursed would be unfair at all either. They may owe that, but I will say a karmic is a karmic, because there is, oftentimes an ugliness or a bitterness or a repetitious lesson and an ego trip thing where they expect more than they should. So we do have to consider that. And it could be very difficult. I mean, it's always, why do we ever avoid dealing with things that are going to be chaotic or unpleasant? Because we know that it's going to be possibly really tough. If somebody isn't open-minded and fair and balanced, it's going to be really, really hard. If they weren't fair and balanced when we were around them, they're probably not going to be fair and balanced as we exit, and endings can get really ugly and messy. And that is, we have to like honor that. And that could explain why this person has also not wrapped things up in an appropriate manner, but they do have to face the music if they want a shot with Taurus. They do have to go ahead and, go right on through the storm. And indeed, they're standing there saying, I kind of know, I can sense it, Taurus, if I don't actually like come clean with you, fill you in on everything, and then let you know what my plans are and let you know the reality of what the situation is. I know you're gone. So let me go ahead and tell you this. I've got the power to face all this now. They just might actually do it. They just might actually do it. How's Taurus going to feel about that? Because Taurus was ready to kind of say, I'm out. Taurus is saying, you do what you need to do for you, first off, but I'm not going to be around while you're doing this. You need to do what you need to do for your life. This is Taurus still withdrawing with that Four of Pentacles. This is Taurus still saying, yeah, but see, the cookies stay in the cookie jar. It doesn't mean that because you have these intentions that now I'm supposed to, already be there for you, or I'm hearing that song, if you're looking, keep on looking, because the cookies, but they stay in the jar. Yeah, I don't see Taurus saying, oh, perfect. Okay, so now let me go ahead and, hey, snuggle up with me, while you're dealing with everything else. Yeah, Two of Pentacles. Taurus says you might change your mind, and you have every right to do that. It seems like you haven't yet been able to do that. So you've been juggling whether or not you wanted to do that, or whether it was worth it to face all of this complication. So I'm going to go ahead and withdraw still, even though you've now told me what your plan is, because you still have to execute your plan. And frankly, it doesn't have anything to do with me, because you have nothing to offer me until you're free. I see Taurus not being rude, but maybe being assertive and point blank and honest with, you can't have any of my energy just because you're telling me what your big mess is that you're going to have to face and all these things that you're going to have to do. And now we pretend like you've already done those things. In truth, what you've shown me is that you still weren't sure about being able to do this up until now. And so maybe you've got to think about that. Maybe there's a reason you haven't done it yet, even though you seem like you want to now. Don't do it because you've decided I'm the better choice, because I don't want to be the option where you weighed it and you said, karmic or Taurus, which is a little bit better, pros and cons. If you had to make a list between why I might be the better choice or this other person, no. See, I'm not a choice like that. I could see where, I just don't know that Taurus wants this, even if they are hoping for this. We have Justice and we have the Three of Wands. To me, this feels like they may think that it's really unfair that they have to sort out all of their stuff in order to then in the future approach Taurus. But there's no guarantees that Taurus is going to be available or free. But I would almost say that they also are like, well, it is fair. I mean, I don't like it. It feels unfair, but it's not really, because I haven't been giving to Taurus and I have been tangled up elsewhere with a karmic. Taurus didn't say anything that was untrue, even if I don't like it. Okay, so I'm thinking that this is one of those situations where I don't see Taurus budging. Taurus has great, opinion of where their comfort zone is. Doesn't matter, right, wrong, doesn't matter. Taurus has every right to decide where their comfort zone is, and that's what they've done. Or that's what it seems like they're doing during this retrograde. And it looks like Taurus is going to be starting to consider themselves single and available during the retrograde. All right, I'm going to leave that one there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.